Yo, what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of my latest ghost hunt with Chris. I wanted to do this breakdown because I thought there were some interesting parts in this video that I saw after watching it through a second time that I thought I wanted to discuss, and also I realized that in the video I didn't explain what the legend was. So I'll be explaining it in this video while also just skipping around and showing off what I think is the most interesting bits and pieces of this video. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys a history and backstory of the graveyard first, then I'll give you a little bit of the backstory behind the legend of the Witch's Chair. The Brookside Cemetery dates back to the 1850s. The first burial here was on August 10, 1853, after the move of the city's original burial ground, which started the same year. All 282 bodies located in the original grounds made the move over a 10-year period. The Brookside Cemetery also has a grave marker to commemorate one of these townsfolk, Abby Evans, the first homemaker in Lenawee County. The cemetery is now home to many relocated and gifted monuments, making it a beautiful cemetery to visit, but with all its history there will be legends too. Heading towards the rear of the cemetery, you'll come across a granite chair with the name Stacy etched into it. This chair is infamously known as the Witch's Chair. Chris and I originally thought that this was the name of the woman who the legend is based upon, but we were wrong. It's the legend of a wealthy family and two women, one by the name of Mary and the other named Loanna. The Stacys were a prosperous family. Mr. Alfonso Stacy was the town's judge, and his wife Mary had 5 children. After Mr. Stacy passed away, Mary would sit in the chair every day for 17 years until she died. As for the witch rumor itself, well, that would be passed on to their child, Loanna. Loanna never married and eventually grew into her given nickname of the town spinster. Being heavily resented in the community, she was often the scapegoat when something went wrong, accused of using witchcraft. She long outlived her parents and siblings, which heightened suspicion among the townsfolk further. Plus, on top of these suspicions, many townsfolk became sick, and farm animals mysteriously died, which pointed more fingers in Loanna's direction. But above all of this, it's told that whoever sits in the chair will likely die, which is just a thing that me and Chris did, and you'll be able to see it later in the video. We unknowingly sat in the witch's chair to do the Estes method, and that's a big uh-oh according to the legend. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the meat of the video itself and probably what you came here to see. My breakdown of our ghost hunt and some of the things that I didn't notice when we were there and only noticed on our second time through. So as you can see, guys, we're getting right into it. I skipped like past the first couple of minutes of the video because nothing really goes on. But around this part is where we actually get some activity, where we start the Estes method. You got a spirit box? Yep.
Is there anybody here today?
During the Estes method, it was kind of hard to understand what was being said in the spirit box itself. But there was a lot of activity. If you watch the video, you will even see that Chris himself had the same experience, and when a spirit box actually, when we use the spirit box without the Estes method, it'll do the same thing, like a lot of voices, but
getting stuff, but it's hard to pick up.
yeah, right there.
It was just me.
Who are we speaking with right now?
Troy.
So at this point, we get the name Troy, but I did a lot of research for the name Troy, and I don't know if that was me mishearing something or if it did actually say Troy, but a lot of the research I did, I couldn't find the name Troy. I don't know if it's short for something, but we kind of go with Troy for the whole time.
Troy. us right now?
Yeah, there was a lot of silent moments. We didn't really get a whole lot during this.
Boy.
At this portion, I can't tell if this is like Chris looking to see if I can see him or like see what's going on, or if he's looking at the obelisk, which is over here. I'll skip ahead a little
Anybody
bit.
else here with us?
Yes.
Where are you standing?
So basically, the context of that yes was that Chris asked, I forgot what it was, but he said something about, or I said that I'm coming or something like that. You can watch the video for the full context, but I say I'm coming, and then he asked if it's Troy that is like coming. Um, and I thought it was interesting because the wind picks up right after I say yes, it is Troy that is coming.
Roses.
Roses. Are you far from me? Troy, are there more people that we can talk to?
I think at this part, Chris is getting a little bit nervous and he starts looking around to see like who is there and why I'm saying these things. I think he's looking for Troy, but Troy obviously won't be there if he's a ghost. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on subtitles so it's easier to hear what we're saying at some parts, and so I can find places in the video easier.
Run.
Who?
Chris tells me after the fact here that when I said run, it scared the shit out of him. He was already looking kind of nervous, so I would assume it probably did. Also, if you notice here, this is a EMF reader. Um, we really weren't getting any strong signals on this part or on this device. Most of our like actual legitimate evidence was coming from the spirit box and the obelisk, which is behind my hands here.
Who? Who's running?
Protection.
You need protection? Troy, you still here?
I'm pretty sure we don't get anything more at this, so I'm gonna skip ahead to where where we switch out and um, Chris is in the Estes method.
Guard. Disregard. Disregard the name Troy, I guess.
Here, the obelisk said disregard when we were asking about like Troy, who Troy is. Um, so I mentioned that maybe it wanted us to disregard the name Troy because I messed up and didn't hear the spirit box right. Which maybe I did or maybe I didn't. I don't know.
Adrian.
So here I thought this was interesting. When Chris says Adrian, he also says at some point it's one of the like only things that really clearly came out. um, so if you know anything about Adrian versus Tecumseh in Michigan, there's been a long-standing rivalry between like the schools, and I wonder if it was a rivalry back um, around the time when uh, the Stacys were living, and that would I feel like that would give a reason to why they don't want to talk to us because we are from Adrian. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're from Adrian. Unless that's your name. Is that your name?
I don't think it is.
You can come up and touch the glowing.
So during this, we really didn't get a lot of responses. I spent most of the time waiting for responses, which sometimes never came. Uh, we really just got nothing during the Estes method until the point where we stopped doing the Estes method. That's when we got the most activity, and that's where the most interesting parts of the video happen, I'd say, which we will be explaining later, so stick around.
Green orb, or you can say something through the obelisk, or you can use my friend here to talk to us. Lives lost, one way or another. Far oxygen cheat. Him.
Yeah. Here, I thought it was interesting. It said him on the spirit box, and then spewed out a few words like far oxygen and cheat. I don't know what those mean in relation to him, but in this moment, I was assuming like him was in reference to Chris. But now that I think of it, it could also be in reference to Mr. Stacy or Alfonso himself because it is his chair after all. And another thing I'd like to point out is I did say at the beginning of the video that the legend does say that if you sit in the chair, you will soon die. And we both sat in the chair and we both didn't do much research before we did this. We just thought it'd be fun to go out here and ghost hunt, which we both now know was probably the wrong thing to do. Because if it is real, then yikes. But we're not going to worry too much about it. I don't think I'm going to end up dying, but I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood.
Hey, yo, get up. There's a car coming.
Um, so at this point, we stop the Estes method because I see a car coming, and I was afraid it may be security because we were here past operation hours, and uh, they do have a right to trespass us. But yeah, that basically just wraps up this whole the Estes method. That is.
Car coming.
Around this moment in time, we stopped getting activity after I pull them out because the car was coming. Um, I think around 32 minutes in, we start getting activity again. And this is also around the point where we start moving our gear around.
God. God tease.
Yeah, when it said God tease, that kind of made me feel uneasy. Like, what is it saying? Are we teasing God, or is it like that we're testing him, or something like that? Um, I honestly don't know what it means, but yeah, from this point in the video on, I'll be skipping around a lot to like really get the key points of the video. I'm going to be skipping to something I think is interesting at 35 minutes. I'll go back a little bit, but we ask if anybody is here, and then um, it says, I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. I don't see why.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Um, which I thought was interesting. This is like our first real, seems like we're actually communicating. Another thing I want to point out is in a couple of seconds.
Right
It's in a
on.
couple of seconds.
That's cool.
But it sounds like
Let
it
me see why not.
low key says my name, or last name, that is. I'll slow it down for you guys. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like it's saying Moyer, my last name. Um, which, when I heard it the first time watching this over, that made me jump because I was like, ah, that is crazy. I really hope it didn't, but it could. And yeah, that is very, 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 very creepy. Now I'm gonna like skip this part right here. This is just a bunch of us like moving stuff around and setting more stuff up. But I'm gonna skip to probably some of the most, I would say, interesting stuff in the video. And I'm just gonna let it play and then tell you my thoughts after, because you guys just gotta see this. Oh, let me turn it back to normal speed.
Stacy. Wait a minute. Louis, Loanna, Stacy. Is this you, Stacy? This is your tomb? Loanna, is this you?
So as you can see, that's probably the craziest thing we got all night. So we realized that we set our stuff on top of what we think is a tomb or monument for Luana, who is the so-called witch. And the obelisk, if you weren't watching too intently, around here,
Wait a minute.
let me get to it. It says found, as in like we found who the witch was, which I think is kind of crazy. But what is even crazier, guys, dude, like, and even though it didn't say it right away, at 38 minutes into the video, when it says yes, after we ask if this is Stacy Luana's tomb or Luana Stacy's tomb, that I honestly don't know what to think about that. It's it seems too far fetched to be a coincidence, but uh, just let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Loanna, is this you? Loanne.
Yeah, right there. Chris even heard it. I didn't hear it because I think I was off to the side a little bit, messing around with my bag. I was trying to get something out or like get a drink of water, but the spirit box pretty clearly, I think, says Luana, um, which is kind of crazy. This whole segment is probably the most like active part of the video. We really don't get anything after this um, until we leave the chair, like the area of the chair.
It's just Loanne.
Did it?
Yes, I just heard it loud and clear. Yes, found. Living touch. This is the EMF. Are you here? It's like going through the empty tables.
It just spiked to red when that happened.
Did you say bad?
Hey, maybe.
Well, man, is your day going bad? Talk through both devices if you can. Esther, you here too?
I want you guys to keep the name Esther in mind too. I feel like it has some importance later. Just keep it in mind. In a few seconds, I'll tell you why. Yeah, just keep in mind Esther and Luana.
I'm gonna turn off the EMF.
Alright.
Here, you wanna walk around?
Yeah.
Okay. We are.
That's what I heard for a second.
Yeah, so right here, we both hear we are on the spirit box, and I was looking at the like kind of family lineage of the Stacys, and turns out Luana and Esther were both the children of Alfonso and Mary Stacy. And I think what Chris asked before is if we are talking to them, and then they said we are, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Just walk with that. I want to see if
Okay, so this is the point in the video where we leave the chair and start walking around the graveyard to see what we can find. So I skipped forward a little bit here, but I just want to let this part play for you guys.
What's going on over there?
Especially how we can hear the words that are coming out of it. Like, it's hard to pick them up, but like, we can hear them.
I just wanted to say, like right there, I definitely agree with Chris, and I even brought it up earlier in this video, but we are definitely getting words out of the spirit box. That's a definitive, but we can't interpret it a lot of the times. A lot of it is very incoherent, and we just misinterpret it a lot too. It's not like those other YouTube videos where they do the Estes method and stuff, where they're getting like clear and concise answers to every single question, which some of them may be fake. I don't know, but it was definitely a different experience. I'm going to skip a little bit further into the video now to around this part. 51 minutes.
Threshold. This is what?
Yeah. We want to talk now.
That's what I heard. It's either we want to talk back or we want to talk now. I think this is probably like Esther or Luana telling us that we should go back to the chair to talk, which I don't know if we should have done or not. We didn't end up doing it if you watched the video, which I think all you should. If even if you just like go to the specific parts that I've shown in the video to like check it out for yourself, it'd be greatly appreciated. But basically, yeah, it's to me it felt like Esther and Luana wanted us to go back to the chair to kind of communicate with them more. uh, a lot of the stuff that I skipped was me at the beginning of the video. I'll show you really quick, but yeah, right here. We see the statue named Richard, and then towards the end of the video, I end up saying something like, "Am I tripping, or did that statue earlier say Robert?" Because we were getting Robert on the spirit box, so we ended up looking for that statue for a bit, and we didn't end up finding it. And if we did, we'd realize that it was stupid. But yeah, it's Richard, not Robert, the statue. So a lot of the time that I skipped was just us looking for the statue itself. Around here, the spirit box gets active again, but they're really, uh, it gets active, but we really don't make any sense of it. It's not interesting. If you do want to see that part, you can just go to the video itself. But this will be the last thing in the video I show you. It's right near the end, like right here.
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
What?
It gave me goosebumps. I thought I see something. Oh my god, I thought I saw a shadow figure from the tree. Dude, I scared
We
the fuck
could
out of
have.
me. Dude, I don't know what the fuck it was. It's probably a shadow. Look,
You saw a shadow figure over there
in this tree, bro.
behind that tree.
I think it's funny because Chris in real life was like freaking out, but around here, Chris sees or says he sees a shadow figure behind a tree, which I felt was interesting. Um, I didn't see anything personally, but I trust him enough to believe his judgment. It was also late, could have been nothing, but he could have definitely saw something. It could have been Luana or Esther, like following us around, or who knows, another spirit. And we just hope we left him in the graveyard, honestly. So we are now at the end of the video. This is all the stuff I wanted to cover. I just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and if you do notice anything in the video, feel free to leave it in the comments of this video or of the original video itself. Um, uh, a lot of stuff is interesting. I can't wait to do more of this in the future. It's gonna be fun. We have big plans for the future, but of course that won't be possible without your guys' help. So if you guys like this video or any of my videos, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I kind of just wanted to give a plan for the future of my channel. My plan for the future of this channel is to do ghost hunting vlogs, outdoors stuff, like my hobbies and stuff. Most of the ghost hunting stuff will be with Chris or with some of my other friends, but I just plan to like document some of the fun stuff I do in my life. That's really what I made this channel for, and if you'd like to follow my journey, I'd really like if you'd subscribe. But that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.